Guppy fish, small, colorful, always moving. At first they seem simple, too simple, like something that doesn't require much thought, but that assumption is where everything starts to go wrong, because guppies are not difficult, but they are deeply connected to their environment. And if you don't understand that connection, you're not really keeping guppies, you're just placing them in water and hoping for the best, and hope is not a strategy. Let's slow things down for a moment. Imagine a natural environment, a shallow stream, warm water flowing gently, plants growing freely, microorganisms everywhere, invisible life supporting visible life. That is where guppies come from. Now compare that to a typical beginner setup, a glass tank, clean-looking water, artificial decorations, no real system. It looks good, but it doesn't function like nature, and that's the difference most people never see. Aquariums are not about appearance, they are about processes. Processes that you cannot see, processes that take time, processes that require balance, and guppies live inside those processes. Let's talk about something subtle but extremely important: change. Fish don't just react to bad conditions, they react to changing conditions. A tank that is slightly imperfect but stable is often safer than a tank that is perfect one moment and unstable the next. This is why beginners struggle. They chase perfection, they make constant adjustments, they try to fix everything quickly, but every quick fix adds another layer of instability, and instability creates stress. Now let's go deeper into stress. Stress in fish is not dramatic. It doesn't look like panic, it looks like silence, less movement, less color, less interaction. A fish that is alive, but not truly living. And this state can last for days, sometimes weeks, until eventually, the system collapses. Not suddenly, but gradually. Now imagine this happening in a tank with guppies. They are active by nature, they explore, they interact, they move constantly. So when they stop doing that, it means something has already changed, and by the time you notice, the process has already begun. Now let's add another layer: population. Guppies don't stay the same, they multiply, and they don't ask for permission. A single female can produce dozens of fry every month, and those fry don't just exist. They grow, they eat, they produce waste, they take space. So your tank is not static, it is constantly evolving, and if you don't plan for that evolution, your system will fall behind, and when the system falls behind, the fish pay the price. Now let's shift perspective again. Think about feeding. Most people see feeding as care, a positive action, something that helps the fish. But in reality, feeding is one of the most powerful ways you influence your aquarium. Because every time you feed, you are adding energy into the system, and that energy has to go somewhere. If the system can process it, everything stays balanced. If it can't, the system starts to overload, and overload leads to collapse. This is why experienced aquarists feed less, not because they don't care, but because they understand consequences. Now let's talk about space, but not just physical space, perceived space. Fish don't measure liters, they experience territory, movement freedom, escape routes. A tank with structure, plants, hiding spots, layers, feels larger to a fish. A tank without structure, even if it's physically bigger, can feel exposed, stressful, unsafe. This is why design matters, not for you, but for them. Now let's zoom out even further. Your aquarium is not separate from your environment. Where you place it matters, light exposure matters, noise matters, movement around it matters. Fish live in your space, but they don't understand it. They only understand patterns, consistency, safety, and when those things are missing, they adapt. But adaptation is not the same as thriving. Now imagine the opposite scenario: a stable tank, balanced population, controlled feeding, structured environment, consistent routine. Something changes, not suddenly, but gradually. Your guppies begin to behave differently. They explore more. They display stronger colors. They interact naturally. they become confident. And this is the moment when you realize something important. You are no longer reacting to problems. You are maintaining balance. And that is the real goal of fish keeping. Not perfection, not control, but balance. Because once balance is achieved, everything becomes easier. Water stays cleaner, fish stay healthier. The system becomes more forgiving, and your role changes. You stop being someone who fixes issues and become someone who understands systems. And guppies teach you all of this. They are not just beginner fish, they are a gateway into understanding ecosystems, stability, cause and effect, patience. And once you understand guppies, you understand the foundation of every aquarium. So if you want to stop guessing, if you want to stop losing fish, if you want to build something that actually works, start by understanding the system, because in the end, it's not about the fish, it's about the environment you create. And when that environment is right, everything else follows. Subscribe to Aqua Mind Lab. Because here, we don't just keep fish, we understand them.